Welcome back to 5014 Africa, the channel that helps you travel Africa. In this video, we will spend 5 days in Etosha National Park to answer a very simple question: is Etosha still worth it? Currently, there are 3 issues. The first being animal sightings, which we will cover extensively in this video. The second, road conditions. Yes, we will use the roads inside the park and talk about it. And finally, the quality of accommodation and services on offer inside the park. As I'm already familiar with that, I decided to camp outside the park, give you a few more options and see if it improves the overall experience. Welcome to Gondwana Etosha Safari Camp. Because I booked and paid online, the check-in wasn't fairly easy process. Remember, if you're Namibian and you have a Gondwana card, you get 50% off on accommodation. The campsite's sort of like 5 minutes drive away. On your way, you'll see the beautiful swimming pool. This is also where they have the restaurant, bar and free Wi-Fi. You'll also note that they have rooms available. They seem like they have very beautiful views. I didn't stay there, so obviously it's of no concern to us in this video. For us, it's the campsite, and the first thing you need to know is that you can't book a specific site. They're on a first come first served basis. They also have decent shade, beautiful green lawns, electricity, lights, and well, I don't think the water is drinkable. What you will notice is pretty good atmosphere, and there's lots of space. Whether you have a rooftop tent, ground tent camping, or one of those big caravans. The fun part of not being allocated a site is that you'll play the little game, especially if there's 2 or 3 people in the car, of finding the perfect spot. I initially thought that this would be the one. Okay, so this is where I end up stopping. Right. There's a bit more shade over there, but ended up right here. Spend a lovely 3 nights camping here. This is where a ground tent comes in handy when you just put up your camp and drive in and out every day. What I can tell you is that I felt very safe. There's multiple security guards patrolling the site at night. What you don't have is privacy. I mean, that should be quite obvious. And then remember, you share ablutions as well as wash-up areas. Entering the park is a fairly straightforward process. You simply stop at the gate. This is the Galton Gate, about 10-15 minutes away from the Etosha Safari Camp. You will notice that it's currently under construction. So they've got a temporary gate about 100-200 meters down the line. All you need to do is stop. You'll need your passport to prove your nationality. You also need to tell them how many people's in the car and how many nights you'll be spending. That's to complete your permit. You don't pay at this point or at this gate. You're going to have to pay at the camp closest to the gate or the entry point. So no payment at the gates. What they will also do is give you a short little lecture with regards to red meat and make you sign. So no red meat that you take in is allowed to come out again. And then about 20 kilometers later, you'll find Okaukuejo camp, which is the centrally southern camp. It's the most popular one. And what I'm going to do now is don't pay for my permit. For that, I need to go to reception. What I'll also do at reception is look at the sightings book. So people document all their sightings, and specifically lions don't move around that much. So I'm hoping to see if somebody spotted lions in the last 24 hours, and most definitely will be heading out into that direction. That's reception right here. Okaukuejo is the busiest camp in Etosha National Park, and often services suffer because of that, especially in the restaurant where it can get very busy. The waterhole as well, very busy and noisy. They do have a little shop, very basic. Best is just to bring your own stuff. One of the 2 main attractions is definitely the tower, which you might think was part of some defenses back in the colonial times. No, it was added in the 1970s purely for aesthetic reasons. And yes, we're going to climb it because I'm nice. Just remember, don't skip leg days. From the top, you'll see the eastern gate, which goes to number 20, Halali, as well as the western side of the park. And that's the southern gate where we came from. At the end of that road is the petrol station. And at the end of that tree line will be the waterhole. Right in front of us is the restaurant area with the swimming pools. Swimming pools are only open for day visitors. That's the campsite. And this is the reason we're looking for camping outside the park. It doesn't look that good. They also have double rooms as well as bush chalets, which has a braai area, self-catering, and the waterhole chalets, which is located around the main attraction, the Okaukuejo, which is the waterhole. In my opinion, the best in Southern Africa, especially at night. But of course, the reason we came is to go to reception, to pay for our park fees, so our permit, and have a look at the sightings book. After paying for your permit, which I've done for 5 days, and checking the sightings book, apparently they were lying at Aus. I just need to figure out where Aus is. Go and get yourself the official map of Etosha National Park. It's extremely useful and the only thing you'll need. This copy was 60 Namibian dollars, which I think is a fair price. You can keep this or pass it on to your friends, which will be coming or visiting. It's got all the roads, all the distances, all the waterholes, all the picnic spots where you're allowed to stop and get out of your vehicle. It's got all the various animals. It's got a bit of history about each of the camps, and more and more and more. And for some reason, it's also in German. Okay, let's go and hunt. Where's my binoculars? Hunt for some animals. First thing you realize when you arrive at Aus Waterhole is the stench of dead or rotten, decaying meat. And then I immediately saw the dead elephant, and I thought, okay, that's why they saw lions there yesterday. Saw 2 vultures up in one tree, only 2, which is weird. Nothing else. The fact that there's no other animals at the waterhole told me that they must be predators. And it took me a while to realize there's a lion just directly from me. There's the cement waterhole, the cement pond that feeds the waterhole. Just above it is a female lion. That's not bad, eh? Drive in, stop at the Okaukuejo, look at the sightings book, and we get a lion. So like I said earlier, lions don't move around that much, and obviously I didn't know there's a dead elephant here. So I'm just going to park here if I have to the whole day. The problem is 12 o'clock now, it's hot, and they're not going to feed now. They'll sleep, they're probably full. They'll keep on sleeping, maybe in the afternoon. They'll come down for water and then feed again. Alternatively, they'll feed at night. What they're doing now is they're just protecting it. And it's weird to me there's no hyena here. It's weird. Okay, well that's a good start. 3 hours later, and I've actually been quite fortunate. We had some zebra. Sorry, I'm in the relaxed position. Some zebra, some kudu, some gemsbok, some impala, and definitely the highlight of the day is not the lions. Honey badger. How awesome is that? Honey badger is literally less than a minute out of the bush at the waterhole. Probably drank water for about 30 seconds. Just submerged itself in the water for maybe a minute. Less than a minute from the water in the bush and gone. Less than 5 minutes in and out. That's why they're so bloody difficult to see. I love them. They're the coolest, cutest little animals ever. Also a little warthog. And that's about it. The lions, I've established that it's actually 2 males. It's not a female. And they've just been getting up to move around. As the sun moves, their shade moves. So they just get up to move with their shade. I'm still hoping for an afternoon, maybe come down for a drink or go and get something to eat. But it's also possible that they're waiting for dark. Let's wrap it up. It's getting late and I still need to head to the main gate to get out of the park. The afternoon started very slow. Initially some impala, or fairly large herd of impala. They came and drank and then left. And I was wondering the whole time, do I think other elephant will still come there because of the dead one? And after a while a lonely cow came. She walked towards the waterhole, but it was stop go, continuously looking back at the dead elephant until eventually she got there and she walked straight to it and she spent like 10-20 minutes there, a long time. It was like she was mourning or grieving or showing respect. And this is weird. I've never seen it before. I've heard that elephant don't forget, and these things stay in their memory. Not sure if it was a friend. Eventually she went to drink water, did her little circus tricks. They always do circus tricks after they finish drinking water. And then she turned around, put her little trunk up in the air, and it was it was sort of a signal to the lion saying, "I know you're here, and your time have cometh." As he just chased them. And after that she came back, showed her respects again, a long time, just stood there, drank some water. The two lions decided to come back, very, very skittish. And eventually she left. And that's when the lions got up, because by then I knew, as soon as this elephant leaves, these two lions, they've been sleeping in the sun the whole day, they haven't eaten, now they've been chased around in the bush, they're going to come up. So one by one they went to feed. They actually climbed into the elephant. So they've opened up the stomach, like the whole head, half the body inside. Then the first one went to drink, second one fed, had a bite to eat, and then came to drink. And that ended an amazing afternoon. I mean, I got lucky. Sometimes you make the call, it doesn't work out. And most of the times it doesn't work out. Today I got lucky. I predicted it, it worked out. Luck. People always tell me, Nick, you're so lucky. It's not only luck, because I put myself in these positions. I mean, I spent the entire day in the bush. I didn't drink a lot of water, because I knew if I do that, I would end up needing to go to the toilet. So now I'm very hungry and thirsty. You can't see animals. What I'm trying to get to is, you can't see animals if you sit in your hotel room or your lodge room in the air conditioning all day. You have to spend the time out in the bush. And like I've shown you so many times, it's often, it's so worth it.